how did the Super Bowl run and then the eventual loss actually help maybe in getting you set for this year and maybe keep you hungry for this year as well? Was there anything from that journey that actually was beneficial that you're seeing this year, Joe?
Yeah, most definitely. I felt like it was definitely quite the experience that, most people have never experienced, and I felt like it was a blessing to even be on that stage. I definitely feel like from what our team took from that year that we're definitely having taken on this year is we've been there before. We know what it takes to get back, and we know what we have to do, in between times. So at the end of the day, we've been there before. We know how to get there, and we know what it's going to take. And we just got to take it 1 week at a time, play our cards right, and just dominate and keep on doing all the things that we know that we're expected to do here, and that's executing the game.
And then I guess as well, you know what it's like to throw a touchdown pass in a Super Bowl, right, Joe?
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, can you believe that's on your resume, Joe? Seriously, what do you think?
To be honest, like, I don't really be thinking, certain things that I be doing, which is, what you guys would call an accomplishment. Like, I really don't ever sit to literally take it all in until somebody brings it up to me. Then when you think about it, it's like, or when I think about it, it's like, man, like, you're right. Like, I can't believe that I did that. So
yeah, there are quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame who don't have Super Bowl touchdown passes, Joe. It's seriously.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's a blessing to be here, man, and, to be able to experience that.
Yeah, I mean, just up the road there in Canton, there are some guys with busts who would say, "I would love to have a Super Bowl touchdown pass like you have." So when it comes down to it, I mean, you mentioned the offensive line and how it's new and how they're learning something new, and we are seeing Burrow take some shots. Like he just actually was sacked in yesterday's game for a 100th time since the beginning of last season. But all that said, all together, do you see some similarities between this year and last that you can put together a December run like last year and then take it all the way to maybe Arizona this year to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, man. I mean, I feel like we're definitely in position to do that. One thing where we was last year that we are this year is 5-4. Everybody counting us out, thinking that we're not going to do anything, which is fine. Like that's fine. Like I'm glad people think that. We're glad people think that, but at the same time, we just got to take it 1 week at a time. I mean, we got a hell of a back-end schedule that we're going to have to go against, and the way you prepare for that is just literally every day you got to prepare for that team that week as much as you can. Go out and execute on Sundays, and obviously try to do whatever it takes to get the win, and that's what's going to how the little things lead up to the big things, which is obviously a Super Bowl run.
And then, of course, Burrow and his known for being cool, with grace under pressure, despite sometimes getting hit around. You got a good story, Joe Mixon, about Joe Burrow's coolness under pressure, or anything you got a good go-to on that front?
I mean, I'm gonna just go to yesterday because that's probably the most recent thing that happened. So yesterday, before the half ended, I remember telling Joe, like, he was like, "Man, we're gonna line up in empty." So we ended up lining up in empty. I'm like, "What you want me to run?" He was like, "Just run a fade," and I'm like, "All right, bet." So I ended up running a fade, and all of a sudden, like, the corner, like, almost like dropped me because he seen Joe about to scramble. Then he remembered I was there. He tried to hold me, so I just spent out. And then Joe just delivering a dime, and I just tried to get my best impression of Jamar Chase in the toe tap.
Right. And touchdown is what you're saying.
Exactly.
So the touchdown reception you had in your 5-touchdown game was a route that you didn't know you were going to run until Joe says, "Yeah, just run a fade." And that's how
exactly. And that's exactly how he basically talked it up, not drew it up.
How often does that happen with him? Does that happen often?
To be honest, I think the last time like he said something like that was when we played Baltimore last year. I think when he threw for like 500 yards, he told me to run a fade, and then he ended up throwing it to me, and I ended up. I think that was his record-breaking throw right there. So, I think that was probably the last time he did that. But I guess there's great things happen when I asked Joe, what should I run in empty?
Yeah, do that more often. Work on that on the bye week, man. Work on that on the bye week for sure.
I'm definitely going to be in his ear.
That for sure. Before I let you go, again, the name of the team that you're on for my 11-year-old Coop is It Hurts Too Bad, named after the quarterback Jalen Hurts. But maybe after your performance that gave him 100, I think you got 50-something points for him, it might be in the Mixon or something like that. Something like that.
Hopefully it heals too good.
That's not bad. That's not bad. So I'm sure, how many people have you heard from either on Twitter or what else about what you did for their fantasy teams yesterday?
To be real, I haven't even been on Twitter, so okay. I really ain't even checked. But
okay.
I've seen a couple people on Instagram hit me up about it. But other than that, though, I really try not to be too much on social media, man.
You know, that's smart. I think that's a good idea. Saves you $8 too these days. Thanks. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.